Hey everybody, HMV here, playing more Factorio, and I'm finally setting up the box for cargo wagons so I can have some when I need them. The goal of this mission or this episode here is to get my belt factory going correctly. So let's go here. I decided I'm going to balance out the copper line here just to make sure everything is running okay, and then we're going to drop down a train and head to the iron ore setup. I have signals down there that are not correct. This is how you fix signals, at least in this setup. There are better ways to do it, but this is the way that works. If you replace all these with chain signals, when the train is up in that station, the chain signals are going to be, see it's blue there? That means that if you want to go to the station, you can pass by that signal. If you want to go straight, you can't. And see, the train there goes there, and then that one stops, and you remove the thing, and now he goes that way. If both of those trains are pathing to that station, the first train that enters there is going to block the other one from going through. So when it gets up to the station, the other one's going to realize, oh, I can't get to that station. Is there another station I can go to? And then go to that. That's basically the way it works. Now the problem is the train is still going to be blocking the line, the actual thing, and see, it doesn't. That train just screwed up here because I haven't set up the chain signals. So once I get those set up, I can get in here, manually back it up, and then turn it back on, and then it goes here. And then next time it'll be fine, but again, it'll be blocking the main line. So it's not ideal, but it keeps the trains from clogging up the lines longer. I guess it makes it less likely they'll clog up the lines, and when they do, they relieve themselves faster. So I'm just dropping down all the chain signals here to make sure everything is fine. Now notice that one's blue because if you want to go to the very top station, that one being the one next to me, you want to go to the top station, you can go. If you don't, you don't. Now notice though that there's a train waiting to go in to a station, and it's not going there. And that's the reason why is that station up there is still disabled. That's another problem. If you want to come up here and go to a station, and there's two stations, but one of them's disabled, the other one enables itself, two trains go to it, the other one's not going to go to that station because it's disabled. That's another reason what I need to do is set up a waiting bay so that the trains go into the waiting bay and then they're not in the way, and they can wait there forever for all I care, as long as they're not bugging other people. But anyway, time to work on belts. I am setting up this station here, the input station for belts, and I don't know exactly how to do this. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what I want, and at this time I hadn't even given it any thought. I'm like, I need belts that take the things to the place, and that's not the way you want to build a factory. You want your factory to actually have some sort of cohesive thought into it as you go. But I didn't do that. I just laid some belts and started running them, and I figured, hey, let's go ahead and run these things down. The problem is I've always been thinking along the terms of mass production. Every station I've placed has had one input or one output. It's the iron ore station, or it's the iron station, or it's the coal station or whatever. This is the first time I'm making a station that has multiple things going to it, and I'm not sure how popular these items are going to be for the trains. Like, how often am I going to need to pick up red splitters? I don't know. Should I put the splitters on the back train and the regular belts on the front train? Should I put everything on each rail car? What should I do? I don't know at this point what I'm going to do. I've kind of decided what to do from this point on, and I don't know yet if that's right or not, but I've decided these specialized trains are going to, in general, be one station. I might actually try to fit two stations in there, so that the trains can go to the back station if they're going to the front station, or what if there's one already in the front station, something like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the boxes have everything in them. I'm going to have an available 8 boxes on each side, 6 boxes on each side, so that's 12 different things can go into the trains, and it's just going to be that much stuff. I might make an exception for things like yellow belts because they need to go to a science station. But in general, I think I'm going to just, however much fits in a box, and I might use steel boxes to make those boxes bigger. But however much fits in a steel box, that's what's going to be available at the station of that item. And if that's what the train wants, then it's going to go there and pick it up and then take it off to where it's going to go. And it's not going to be as high throughput as the other ones, but that's okay because these are specialized items and they don't have to be high throughput. That's just the way it works. But I hadn't thought of any of that while I was doing this. What I was thinking about here was, holy cow, this station uses gears crazily. And instead of fixing the problem, I try to finagle it and make things go a little bit better. And it never ends up working out very well. What I need to do is I need to run more gear lines up and from the actual gear drop-off station up here because it's just using too many gears. So I think I actually end up doing that here in about a minute here. But anyway, yeah, I think I'm finally realizing it's like I just don't have the throughput. Yeah, so I'm like, okay, let's run a second line, and that's the smart way to do it. And I'm like, well, maybe I can send gears off this way up to these guys somehow. And yeah, Snake City. As I've said before, the idea of this factory is trains globally, snake locally, spaghetti locally. Sometimes you got a spaghetti. A man's got a spaghetti when a man's got a spaghetti. So let all these things come through, and then I can run more gears onto this line. Is that my goal, is to bring gears up here? That's kind of crazy. I'm embarrassed. But hey, it's working, right? The gears are coming, and boom, we're making underground belts and things like that. So hey, I'm happy if it works. It looks like I'm balancing the line too. That's always good. Balance the line. Although it doesn't look like it's actually balancing the line. But oh well. Moving on. What are we doing? So you know what? I give up. Time to leave this alone and just let it go. And let's head up to. I think I'm gonna head up to the Circuit Town, which I've kind of dubbed Circuit City. Just because it's a funny name. And yeah, I decided to, the Octothorpe Green is the thing, but I might rename it Circuit City just so it's my name. And it's where we're making green circuits, and we might end up making red circuits here as well. But yeah, we're filling up on belts. A train will be up here eventually, or on circuits. A train will be up here eventually when the time comes. But I'm setting up Quick Bar Switcher here in a second. This is another mod, and I really like this mod. The idea of Quick Bar Switcher is to give you multiple quick bars. See what I'm doing here, where it says you need 7 more slots or whatever. I need enough space free in my inventory. I'm dropping stuff into assemblers right now to make the space in my inventory. And then what you do is you hit Alt-1, and that selects actually your default tool quick bar. And then if you hit Alt-2, that brings up a new quick bar, and you can place all the things in them and set your filters and everything. And then Alt-3 would do another quick bar. And the idea is you would set like 1 is this was my thought, 1 is my yellow belts and things like that. 2 is my red belts and things like that, like the high quality, high speed throughput factories. And then Alt-3 would be like, say, trains, and Alt-4 would be pipes and oil and things like that. Alt-5 might be mining or electricity or things like that. So you can actually have a quick bar, for whatever you're working on. Maybe make a quick bar specifically for attacking biters or something like that. I don't know. And I don't remember how many there are, but I think that might be all the way up to 9. But it's just, it's a cool idea, and I really like it. So I've had it installed since I started, and this is the first time I actually felt the need to set it up. And I didn't set it up fully. I'm not 100% sure how much I'm going to use it because I kind of have like the way I like the quick bar. And while it's cramped, it's the way I have it, and it's kind of hard to switch, even if it's better for you. But yeah, sadly back down to Spaghetti Town here, USA, aka the belts. And I noticed that I had my belts running or I'd changed the direction that the belts were running to deliver the splitters and the undergrounds, but I never actually ran that stuff back down in order to fill up these things. So I finally set it up so that it's running the items down. I know that I'm not do anything special with splitters or anything like that. I just don't care enough because the throughput's never going to be big enough here to actually want to do that. Really what I'm going to be doing is 9 times out of 10, what's going to come down here is a is a train that's picking up belts to take to the science center. And then the other 1 time out of 10 is those rare occasions when my supply train will come down to pick up some stuff to take to a supply depot that I will be able to then pick up supplies from myself and ideally get delivered to by robots. Forgetting now that I had that stone quarry up by my smelters up there, I decided to tap this stone line because I start to want stone now, and the reason I'm going to want stone now is I'm going to want to start to do walls and concrete and things like that, and landfill. I'm going to start going around and filling in the water whenever it's in the way. The way my train lines are set up, I'm going to be very steadfast and very persnickety, I guess, about how the train lines work. I want to make sure that the trains do not ever have to go diagonal. That's one of the mantras of my playthrough here is the trains are never going to go diagonal. Diagonal lines are bad. The only diagonal lines that are going to be in the entire game are part of curves. Everything else is going to be straight lines with the pattern I've set up with stations coming off of them. It's just the way I want it to work, and it's just something I did here. Here I'm setting up the miners just to make sure that I have the right layout so that I can fully tap that line. It turned out that I did have exactly the patch is exactly the right size for the miners. So when the time comes, it'll be very easy to do, and it'll be very easy to fully saturate that quarry with miners, which is nice. Let's see, what else are we doing here? I need to decide what I'm going to make down here, because there's a lot of products that like all they use is stone. There's also some annoying products that use more than just stone, but they need like special things, and then nothing else that uses stone needs that things. Like, for example, rail lines. Rail lines need steel. But do I really want to bring steel down here to make rail lines when I'm making rail stuff somewhere else? I don't know where I'm going to make rail stuff. Or do I really want to train a whole bunch of stone up to the rail station when like all it needs it for is rail lines? I don't know exactly yet what I'm going to do as far as that's concerned. It's an organization problem, and it's a fun problem to have. It's the why I like to play the game. So I'll figure it out. It's a question in my head right now. Here I decided to move the coal train over here so that because I'm going to be smelting the stone. So I need a big coal delivery, and if I'm going to have a big coal delivery, I may as well use that coal delivery to also deliver coal to the trains that are stopping at the station to keep them topped off on coal. So I set up my coal drop-off station, and I set up all the lines coming out, and we get all the coal just automatically coming through, which is awesome. And I didn't screw up the outputs for once. It actually is exactly set up correctly to do that. Now, here I did this trick here to make sure that the coal leaving here only leaves on one line, because I'm trying to make sure that the delivery lines only have one, because it uses up half the coal. That coal is going to be sitting on that belt completely useless for most of the game, and so why have it be double? Here I'm deciding, do I want to run the smelters down like this, or do I want to run them sideways? And I end up running them sideways, and I would like to claim that that's because I realized that I might want to expand that station out, but I don't think it is. I think it's just it fit, and I'm like, you know what, this looks like a good spot. But in hindsight, looking back, I did realize that I never want to run anything. I never want to have any production stuff next to a station. I always want it above or below a station, unless the station, obviously, if the station's horizontal, then I want it next to the station. But if it's expanding vertically, I should say, I want it next to the station instead of on top of, because I never know if I'm going to want to add another station on the line here. So I always want to put the stuff behind the station so I can always add more stations later for extra throughput or for more items coming out of the area. And I realize here I probably should have just run that coal output north to begin with, but it doesn't really matter that much. It's annoying, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I had to run coal on the south side for the trains coming down this line. So really, when it comes down to it, it's a half dozen belts, but it would have been slightly more efficient, and it would have looked prettier too. So now I'm heading back. I don't know why I'm heading back, but let's find out here. I just let my train just run off on its own. I hope that's not a big deal. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Who knows? Who knows what I'm doing? I wonder if I remembered back in. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. It looks like I'm just kind of doing maintenance. I probably got bored and didn't really want to do anything in particular. Looks like I also needed a resupply. That's probably why I came up here to begin with, was to resupply on things. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm grabbing all the supplies for the smelting because I didn't have enough arms. And I didn't have enough stone furnaces in order to smelt all the stone that I have into brick. Also, looks like I'm dropping off raw materials because I always end up with raw materials, and like playing Lazy Bastard, you never want raw materials. I don't know where my train went, so it looks like I'm just hopping in this train. I'm like, you know what? I don't care what you're doing. Oh, maybe I do care. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing. But yeah, eventually I'm probably going to drop a train off here and write it. Oh, there's my train. That's what I was doing. I was finding my train and telling it to come back here so that I could write it back down. Yeah, I really need to set up my personal stations. It's annoying that I have to do all this work, and like it's not that hard to set up a personal station, and it's more work to try to finagle my way around without doing it. But I always feel like I'm busy, and it would be boring to watch me set up a personal station. But it can't be as boring as it is to watch me try to get my trains to go in the correct places. So probably next episode I'm going to start by running around and putting personal stations everywhere, just so I don't have to worry about it anymore. And here I find a problem with these stations. If I try to run the lines in two different ways, they actually don't fit. They're so tightly packed that I have to set the lines up in a specific way for each station, which kind of sucks, but there's not much you can do about it. And then so here is going to be where I drop off the stone bricks. That's going into this station here. So this is going to be PU stone brick. And then we've also got PU stone. And then we're also going to have landfill. And that's probably all that's going to be coming out of here is the stone raw materials. And then we'll actually send stone up to the other places that need it. Maybe I'll set up my the way I'll do it is I'll think about what uses stone, and I'll build all that stuff in the same place. And then that will be near enough to the rail stuff that I can just send it up there. There's also concrete. I could possibly make concrete in that same stone quarry area, because there's no reason to take concrete somewhere else and make it somewhere else when it basically, I think it's stone and water if I remember correctly for concrete. So that would be dumb to send somewhere else just to add water. Although there's no water around there, so I'm not 100% sure where I will get the water from, but that's a problem for another day. But I don't know if you noticed that I went up there, walked around a little bit, and then came back down. Like, not just while I'm recording post commentary, but also while I'm playing. Sometimes I forget what I'm doing, and I went all the way up here to get boxes. And by the time I got up there, I had been distracted by other things, and I forgot what I wanted. So I went all the way back down, saw that I didn't have boxes, and then rode my train back up to get more boxes, and then came back down here to drop the boxes off. And now stone is actually being loaded into the stone thing, which is always nice. So yeah, now it's time to do my landfill station. So I add more stations to the side. This might be where I realized that it was a good idea to put the smelter north of the station rather than east of the station. So I lay the station down. Then I'm like, okay, I need to split more stone off, and it's time to lay more miners, because we are obviously we have more draw on this stone quarry than I ever originally thought. Just it's an amazing the amount of the stuff you do. So I just completely lay everything out. I do space these out. I was saying that I wasn't spacing things out before, but like with stone, it's not as big of a deal, because even though I want to tap the whole line, I don't need this much stone. This is a crazy amount of stone, and it's completely unnecessary to. Yeah, I think I'm going to run a balancer now. Yeah, it's completely unnecessary to pack the miners in when 90% of the time it doesn't work. And look, it actually laid down the red lines because that's what I have. I had them in my inventory. But I don't actually want to use red lines. I'm still using the yellow belts for this kind of a thing. And I'm going to actually run from this splitter here. I'm going to run all the lines out, and I got one going to the actual stone factory. I've got one going to that's where the optical illusion there. Running this thing at 3 times, it looks like the stone in the on the left there is heading into the the splitter when it's actually heading out of. That's kind of funny though, just the way it happens to work. Yeah, trust me, that stone is heading to the left, not the right. Yeah, so I split the 3 off. I got one going just to the stone thing. I've got one going to the brick, and then now I'm setting up this quick and dirty and very ugly landfill thing. And then we're gonna send this landfill off to the landfill station, which I haven't made yet. So I'm gonna drop that off, and we're getting close to being done though, which is nice. Yeah, I ran out of power poles there, so I'm about to run out of power poles. So I'm gonna need to go up and pick up more. I kind of finagled them just to get them to work, and I decide here that I'm not going to. Well, actually, I don't know what I decided, to be honest. I don't think I have decided, but I decided I don't need a full train's worth of landfill, that's for sure. But I head back up here to get power poles, and that's going to end the episode. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I definitely enjoyed playing it. I'm looking forward to what I do next. I don't know what that is going to be, though. I'm HMV, though, and I will, as always, talk at you later.